There's this idea that Latin people are very romantic and, how do you say, full of passion. But where does this stereotype even come from? From Don Juans to hot tamales, Latinx people are often fetishized and pigeonholed because of their supposed spiciness. Here to break down the history behind this popular misconception is my good friend Joanna Hausman. Take it away, Joanna.
Muchas gracias, querida Franchesca. And might I say, you are looking muy. Nope, I can't even pretend to be this character. I'm as suave as dry shaving. Anyway, Franchesca is absolutely right. People have long held the belief that Latin people are sensuous, hot-headed love machines who throw beverages on each other in passionate arguments and will tattoo your face on their bicep after 2 weeks of dating. But look at me. I'm Latina y soy menos spicy que un yogur de vainilla. Y ni siquiera yogur griego, el yogur normal. This fiery Latin archetype has existed in popular imagination for almost a century, and it has its roots in, drumroll please, complete misunderstanding of other people. Wow, this show really has a theme, doesn't it? In the 1800s, after the US-Mexican War, where the US took a giant bite out of Mexican territory, hey, what's up, Texas? Folks in the US were eager to imagine Mexico as a wild place that was ripe for the picking as a way to justify taking Texas. Popular romance novels at the time objectified the country by imagining Mexico as a potential bride that was ready to throw herself at Anglo men, but also too hypersexual and treacherous to be trusted. And as much as all this sounds like a telenovela, y'all didn't invent the telenovela. Meanwhile, fast forward to early Hollywood, where Latin men were depicted as violent and villainous, as we can see in early films like Tony the Greaser and The Girl and the Greaser. The plots were basically all the same. You got a sexy, vulnerable, white-passing señorita that needs to be saved from the dark-skinned bad hombres. One of the earliest examples of the feisty Latina hit the big screen in the 1920s. This woman right here. Mexican actress Lupe Velez made her debut in the United States in 1927, and she quickly became a sensation. She was known for her explosive personality and was frequently cast in roles that had her as the exotic, volatile otra mujer or other woman. The tabloids at the time called her Lupe and the hot tamale, probably because the spiciest food in most of America at the time was like Velveeta. They even tried to capitalize on her personality by having her star in a film series literally titled Mexican Spitfire. Now, it isn't Velez's fault that these tropes stuck. That's just Hollywood. She was super successful, and in the film industry, if it ain't broke, make dozens of unnecessary copies. Take, for example, the Latin lover stick. Yeah, this guy, not even Latino. He was Italian, and his name was Rudolph Valentino. But actually, that wasn't his real name. His real name was... Okay, let me take a breath. Rodolfo Alonso Raffaello Pier Filbert Guglielmi di Valentina de Antoguola. Oh my god. He was the first Latin lover, wooing the ladies with his suave demeanor and making big bank with his vaguely exotic accent. Very vague. I mean, not even remotely Spanish. See, back in the roaring 20s, when people said they wanted tall, dark, and handsome, they were talking about Mediterranean guys, not Latinos. And Valentino fit the bill. But over time, Hollywood extended the trope to include Latin Americans because, hey, why not? Latin men were already seen as sexually aggressive, macho lust beasts. And even if you're thinking, it was a different time back then, I'm sure it was fine. Yo, these tropes were so offensive that Mexico threatened to ban films by US companies that depicted Latinos as violent and prone to emotional outbursts. Translation, Mexicans did not like it at all. And while we've been talking about where these stereotypes come from, the thing is, these tropes continue today. Just look at Sofia Vergara's character on Modern Family. It's almost a direct bite out of the tropes this woman, Carmen Miranda, played. You might know her as the lady in the Tutti Frutti hat or Chiquita Banana. Yup, that's what all Latinas wear on our head for a night out. Side note, the grapes are plastic, I found out the hard way. But anyway, Miranda, like Vergara, played the role of the Latina bombshell, the trophy wife with an accent, and it's a shtick Latinas can't seem to escape. Look at Salma Hayek in, like, almost anything she's made in America. Hell, Rosie Perez couldn't get out of playing one even when she was a cartoon. It's not that we should blame Latinx people for playing these roles or that there's anything wrong with being loud or having an accent. While it can be nice to be thought of as sexy and passionate, it's a real problem if that's your only representation. A recent study of film and TV found that although 17% of Americans are Latinx, they only make up 5.8% of the speaking roles. And when speaking parts were given to Latinas, the characters were far more sexualized than any other race or ethnicity. But we need to be aware that stereotypes are limiting. Studies have shown that even positive stereotypes can solidify one-dimensional thinking about people, and that those who are more likely to believe positive stereotypes are also more likely to believe negative stereotypes. And that's bad. When these stereotypes are so pervasive, people often won't accept how you identify because you don't fit into their assumptions. This whole video, you've probably been asking yourself, why is this redheaded white girl talking to me about Latin culture? Pero soy de Venezuela. Y cada vez siento que tengo que defender lo que soy, dar explicaciones, describir con lujo de detalle mi árbol genealógico. Es un árbol enorme. I have a lot of cousins. I can give you that one. We're not all the tan, hot, fiery sex pots, so when you're one of the millions of Latinos who are more introverted or even-tempered, that stereotype can be really alienating. Some of us want to be Aubrey Plaza or Rory Gilmore before season 5. I can't stand Logan. Also, when I'm angry, it's not because of some ingrained genetic or cultural programming. It's because you're being a dick and it's making me mad. You have way more than 10 items and this is the express lane! Plus, all this makes it easier to ignore the Latin people who don't fit into that stereotype, like Ellen Ochoa, the first Latina astronaut, or the 1.5 million Latina business owners, or El Rafael Rey, who is an electrical engineer who is the current president of MIT. Because when I think of electrical engineering and MIT, I think, sparks flying. So the next time you think about calling a Latinx person fiery, think about the history that led to those stereotypes in the first place. And maybe don't assume that the 55 million Latin people in the US have a similar personality or look a certain way. Please, I am so tired of explaining why I can speak Spanish. It's literally my mother tongue. It's not because I did a semester abroad. Back to you, Franchesca.
Thanks for dropping all that knowledge, Joanna. And remember, food is spicy, not people. To learn more about stereotypes and to challenge your own biases, check out lookdifferent.org. Thanks again to Joanna Hausman for helping out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here on Decoded.